want Tanveer Mir to come in on the fact that the petition before the Supreme Court is essentially to stop the videography of the mosque, which is said to be a temple, but that's already happened. And in that sense, is the petition then infructuous? On a more legal basis, what do you think could potentially happen before the Supreme Court tomorrow?
Well, two things, Rahul, that can certainly happen. One is that if the challenge is simpliciter to something which has already taken place, that is why, if you recollect, there was an attempt to make a mentioning before the Honorable Chief Justice of India. And upon mentioning done, the Honorable Chief said that, look, we can't do anything right now, we don't have the details. So we will list it before a bench presided over by Honorable Mr. Justice Dhananjay Chandrachud. That's going to happen tomorrow. Essentially, if the challenge is to something which has already taken place, then Shashank is absolutely correct that the motion may become infructuous. But that will not detain the Honorable Supreme Court to look at the larger issue if the lawyers place it into service. That A, whether this survey has happened, in the larger perspective, can this suit go on? Until the wires of 1991 Act are not declared unconstitutional. Or as Sanjay Hegde, who's nothing less than a living legend of law, I can tell you very clearly on a TV program, everybody is entitled to his views, but unless and until the Parliament doesn't change the law of 1991, which would then pave way of lot of suits and judicial contests and list between the parties in terms of a suit filed, which the courts can entertain. Our problem, and my problem especially here, is that how can this suit go on when the final relief is something which can never be granted by the designated or concerned court in Varanasi? Point is, can you grant the final relief if the 1991 Act stays as it is?
No, but you're making such a big deal of that Act. Remember, Sanjay Hegde.
Rahul, I have a quick one-liner.
Remember the fact, Sanjay Hegde, that the BJP has a huge majority in Parliament, and if they wanted, they could change the places of worship.
That is why
it's not that tough to do.
That's what I'm asking them. Take a call. Take a call as to where you want to take this nation. Do you want to take it backward and say that we will reopen everything? Take that call. That is what your voters have elected you for. And if you think the rest of the people in India do not matter, go ahead, do it. The second thing on this infructuous argument, I want to say one thing. So far, there has been no report of the commissioners. Your own news report says that the commissioners are likely to take time. It may well be that the Supreme Court says, do not submit that report. That's one of the options open to the Supreme Court.
So it will be a very crucial day in the Supreme Court because it decides where the Gyanvapi issue goes. If the Supreme Court doesn't put a stop on the survey, then this matter will continue to build. You are seeing the clamor increase, whether it's Deepa, Easwar, Anila, Singh, the demand that yes, this is a travesty of history. The Hindu government is in power. They want to change the wrongs of history. And you know, we'll speak to BJP spokespersons over the months to come. The whole idea of the Places of Worship Act, would that be something the current government would be willing to look at? Sharat Pradhan has his finger up. I'm out of time, so I'm going to give you a very quick interjection. Build on the issue of the Places of Worship Act, because this government has a majority. They clearly believe that the wrongs of history should be changed, whether it's Pandit Nehru, whether it is Aurangzeb. This is their time, they believe, to change those wrongs.
Well, all I wish to say is I agree with Sanjay Hegde that if the government wanted to actually build a temple there, they can jolly well do away with the 1991 Act and pass a new act. They are in majority. But they don't want to do it. This is important. They don't want to do it because they want to build, they vitiate the atmosphere for the purpose of the 24 election.
Anila Singh, do you want to respond to that?
Give it a height. They want to give it a height because that is the
Anila
only way.
Singh, why don't you just change the Places of Worship Act?
I really want to. अगर मेरे हाथ में होता तो मैं बिल्कुल कर देती. ये बिल्कुल जाती थी हिंदुओं के साथ. I always say that Hindus have faced wrath of 3 colonizations. Number 1, Muslims. Number 2, Christians, Britishers. And number 3, Nehruvians. And this act is also from one of the Nehruvian, Narasimha Rao. So definitely, Hinduओं के साथ तो जाति वही है. But Rahul, I just want to make a very quick point here.
And also
India
Buddhists.
is facing
Also
numerous
Buddhists.
threats. India is facing numerous threats from such directions like Pakistan and China on the political front, but also from within by those who prefer to see the demise
Sir,
of Bharat's
I'm
culture.
out